like I was, oh, like I was saying, you're not going to want to trust that company anymore if you find out what they did. I mean, for 4 kids, they basically, according to a lot of people, would go under the table and sell licensing to other companies. And parent companies, founding companies of these franchises didn't like what they were seeing, and that is why 4 kids lost the licensing. It wasn't just, oh, it expired, they didn't want to renew. No, it's practically what they did. And Yu-Gi-Oh was basically the top of the cake. They did something that the parent company of Yu-Gi-Oh did not like behind the scenes and said, okay, screw you. We're not going to let you have the licensing anymore. We're giving it to somebody else. And all because 4 kids did what they did, they lost the licensing to one of the most popular cash grabbers they had. And this caused them to go into the downfall that eventually, or has led to their extinction. And you see, this is why, if you're a company, you're an anime company, and you have an anime based on an original idea, or based on a successful idea of the past from previous shows and incarnations, or based on a game that has recently come out, if you're going to do an anime for it, and let's say it's just one season, but you want the Western audience to get a taste of this anime, because you know they're going to find out through the internet. You want that Western audience to get that taste, you got to make sure you get the right company. You get the right company that says, okay, we're area anime, and we're going to do it the right way. We're going to present the stories the way they were originally supposed to be presented. We're not going to butcher that element of it at all. We're not going to change the story up at all. We're not going to even rewrite the story and make it something different. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep it as you asked us to, as you requested us to. We're going to respect your wishes. We're going to respect the terms of the deal, and we're going to do it right. I mean, true, you may have to take they may have to take certain elements here and there, but not very much. I mean, again, going back to Yu-Gi-Oh, here's a show that, you know, as the seasons progressed, got darker and darker and darker. Season 2 showed that progression. Season, season 2.5, or season 3, if you will, the Noah arc, showed that progression in a sense, but not as bad as the majority of the Merrick saga, if you will. The Scylla Orichalcos saga showed the progression, and then, of course, showed that progression as well. And then, of course, you had season 5. So basically, the last 2 seasons, including a majority of season 2, but mainly the last 2 seasons, showed how dark Yu-Gi-Oh is. I mean, again, like I showed you in the first video, you take a look at these and you read them, and then you go and you watch the anime by 4 kids, and you see a major difference. Not just by names of the characters, but by the story elements. And it's like, you can understand from one point of view why 4 kids did certain things. From a parental point of view, you can understand and maybe appreciate that. But if you're a die-hard animation fan, and if you're a die-hard anime fan, you can, in a sense, almost see and detect that something's not right, something's adrift, something's missing, even if you've never seen the series. And then when you go online to the internet and you see exactly that you were right about that, it makes you even more pissed off, because why take such a good concept, a good anime with good characters and potentially good story art or story writing, and throw it out the window and just say, hey, we're going to do this? Doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. And like I said, Yu-Gi-Oh is one of those animes that, I don't know if it was the second season or third season or fourth season, I think it was one of those anyway, where the story arc was completely turned around, was changed completely. It wasn't about what was originally written in Japan. It was about something completely different. And that pissed fans off. It pissed them off. I mean, I can remember and recall Hold on for a second. Sorry about that. Had to let the gato in. But like I said, there are fans. I can remember. I can remember back in the mid '90s, and even up to late, even to the 2000s, reading online and reading how fans were pissed off at the fact that USA Network had butchered Sonic Sat AM. That instead of airing the show the way it was originally aired on ABC, they decided to butcher it and edit it. And some people would say it was because of time restraints. Time restraints their butts. The fact is, as a fan myself, USA did not have to do that. USA just should have just aired it the way it was supposed to. But they didn't do that at all. They said, hey, we're going to take the license, we're going to get the licensing rates to air this, and oh, by the way, we're going to butcher it so we save time. Would you be a little pissed off if there was a show that you had just seen recently, not even a year beforehand on network television on Saturday mornings? All of a sudden you're watching it on the weekdays, and oh, by the way, it's edited? Wouldn't make sense to you, would it? But again, that's the one thing about. But again, how this relates to 4Kids and their treatment of certain animes is exactly why fans were not happy with what they did. They were not happy with what they had done to Yu-Gi-Oh! They were not happy with what they had done to One Piece, Card Captors, Neo Avalanche, even Pokemon, Tokyo Mew Mew, just to name a few. They were not happy about it. They were not happy because basically you were taking animes, and even animes aimed at kids mostly, originally in Japan that were aimed at kids, you were taking those same kind of animes aimed at kids, bringing them here to aim them at kids as well, but you were editing them, and these were edits that weren't necessarily needed. These were elements taken out, scenes taken out that were not necessarily needed. I mean, you take a look at all 10, 15-something years of Pokemon, from the series, the episodes, the movies, and I guarantee you there is over 1 billion edits and cuts, scenes, dialogues and stuff changed out of that were not necessary. And again, this is why, as I said at the beginning of part 2 here, why if you're an anime company, and you're gonna want the Western audience to see what you've created, because they're gonna pretty much watch it anyway, you're gonna want the right company to air it. You're gonna want to get the right company here in the United States, here in the Western part of the world, to air it, dub it, and do it in a more respectable way, that even if they have to take certain things out, or if they have to slightly edit certain things, it's not going to offend anybody, because it'll still stay true to what you had originally intended it to be. I mean, I know nowadays with things like Hulu Plus and stuff, and Crunchyroll and a variety of others, Anime Network, Vika, you name it, Funimation, with the variety of channels and streaming services that we have, we don't have to necessarily worry about that anymore. Because you can have an anime, like let's say Vivid Red Operation. Let's say Vivid Red Operation was brought over here to the States and and they wanted to try to make it into a show, or reformat it or re-edit it into a show for kids. True, there'd be slight edits, like maybe the kiss on the head would probably be changed to a hug or an embrace or something like that, and that'd be about it. And maybe they put a glow over the characters when they fuse together or whatever, and that would be about it. Or when they would change into the uniform, similar to what they do with Sailor Moon, and that would be about it. And then you take a look at Sailor Moon, and Sailor Moon Crystal. Eventually that's going to get brought over and English dubbed. And yeah, there's going to probably be some edits and elements changed change it over, edits to certain things in a scene, maybe a scene or so taken out. But I have a feeling that whoever obtains the licensing to that is going to have more respect for that franchise than 4Kids ever had for the others. Because guess what? All the Sailor Moons that have been the Sailor Moon franchise since it's been out, yeah, it's been edited, it's been changed and all that. Scenes have been taken out, scenes have been kept in, elements have been switched around, certain things have been taken in, have been edited out, kept in, but it's always been treated with respect. The storyline has always stayed the same, in a sense. It's always stayed the same. They've never changed it. They never needed to change it. And I know that when Sailor Moon Crystal comes over and becomes an English dub, that it's going to get a more respectable treatment than I think the anime's 4Kids did. I mean, be thankful 4Kids is not around anymore, or even at a point to where it can't even have the funds to say, hey, we'll take Sailor Moon, because you pretty much know what would happen to Sailor Moon, right? Exactly. The point is, when it comes to companies, English anime companies, 4Kids was definitely not the right choice. I mean, at first it may have been the promised land for shows like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! But eventually down the line, it wasn't just the fans, but it was those that created the shows, that created the elements and all that, that noticed that 4Kids was butchering and destroying these beloved franchises because 4Kids, in a sense, did not get it, and they never have and they never will. So that's just my take on the whole 4Kids anime controversy fiasco, whatever you want to call it. Basically the 4Kids anime that caused its demise. So that's all I'm gonna say on it. You guys let me know if you agree or not with what I had to say in those two parts, and I'll talk to you all later.